Hi everybody! Okay, so I had a request to do some Valentine's makeup looks, and I cannot for the life of me find my real camera. So I'm using my cell phone. I don't know how the quality is going to be. I haven't filmed a video with my cell phone before. But let's get started. I think I'm going to do half a look on each side of my face, so each side will be something different, just because we're so close to Valentine's Day. You know how it is. Alright. So I've got some pretty dark circles under my eyes. And to make that go away, I like to use something yellow. So this NYX concealer in yellow is what I've been using for quite a while. And usually if I was wearing this out all day, I would use a primer, but I'm going to wash it off in like half an hour, so it doesn't really matter. Personally, I always do my concealer first, and then I add my foundation. So for all of my blending, for anything liquid going on my face, I always use my Eco Tools. I think it's the Sheer Finish Kabuki brush. And Eco Tools is my favorite line of brushes. If I could exclusively have Eco Tools, I would be pretty happy. There aren't very many brushes I use that are not Eco Tools. So when I'm blending, I'm setting it gently against my face, and then I'm rotating it up and then down and then up and then down. You don't want to push when you're going up, you want to go up and then push down to blend it. You don't want to lift the little hairs on your face. Everybody has those little baby hairs. Okay. And then, because my dark circles are still always bad when I'm done this, I use the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. Now some of you might ask, and I do use high-end products for a lot of the things that I do, but these work, so I'm not worried, and they're easily accessible and on the cheaper side. So I use, it's like a fluffy brush, kind of. They're called blending brushes, and they work really good for under the eyes, but mine really needs to be cleaned. So I use the one side for under doing the under eye application, and then the other side is like a fluffy shadow brush, and I use that to blend it. And then if I've got any spots that really give me problems, like around my nose, if I'm doing a full look, I'm going to do down my neck because I always get this red spot. If I've got any little spots. Now, I always do concealer right between my brows and going around, just on top. When you're doing concealer, you want to do it in like a triangle, so like down to here, because if you just have it under your eyes, it's not blended very well, and it's going to stand out a lot. Next we have, the foundation that I currently use is Makeup Forever Matte Velvet. So what I do is I put about, more than a pea, like a bean size amount on my hand, and I might need 2 beans. It depends how much coverage I want. And then I take my stipple brush and I just dab it to get some on the ends. You always want to start in the center of your face and then work your way out. Alright, so as you can see, there's splotches of foundation all over my face. And always make sure to blend down into your neck. And then it's going to be the same concept where we touch the skin, bring it up, and then push on the way down. So depending on how natural you want your makeup to look, you'll either do, one light layer just to make your skin tone more even. And yes, I blend into my ears as well. Which is what I'm going to do. Because it's Valentine's Day and you want to feel like yourself in your own skin on Valentine's Day. Okay, so that part, we're good. Now we do contouring. And I've been getting a lot of requests for that too. Now my skin color looks really off in this lighting on the camera, but it looks fine in the mirror, so it's good. We're going to call it good. My favorite Eco Tools brush is this one. And the reason being is because it's a really dense, tapered brush. So it's perfect for powder, it's perfect for contour. It's just an awesome brush. And I always start light and then I go into the dark colors. So I've got my Kat Von D palette. This is the Shade and Light palette, which you can tell I really like. And then for if my under circles are bad, I always use the yellow, but I really like this pink one. This is my favorite highlight. I'm going to start with the yellow, and I kind of grip my brush down here to make it denser. It's easier to get into the small areas of my face. So I've taken some powder on my brush, and then I'm going to look up and press the powder under my eye. All the way down in that triangle area. Oh, I just hit pan! Same thing on the other eye. And then we're going to highlight down the middle of our nose, above our eyebrows, across our foreheads, bridge of the lip. And I like to mix the pink in with the yellow now. Highlight cheekbones, chin, and now we do our contour. So depending on how severe I want my contour to be, it all depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing with my day. I'm going to use the lightest contour color to start with. So what we're going to do is take it from the temple and go down into this part of our cheek here. If you can't find it, do fish face. And even though once it's all blended it's going to look really subtle, it still creates depth in your face. Because all that foundation you just put on kind of took away some of the lines. Now because my face is round, I'm going to contour my face a little bit differently than I would for other people. Now I always do underneath my lip. Because my lips are big and I like exaggerating that fact. And I'm doing the same thing where I pinch it a little bit so it's thinner. And then I dip it, and then I do my lines. You always want to bring your color down your neck or else it looks really uneven. So I'm going to take another blending brush. It's another fluffy brush that I use for contouring. I dip it into my contour, and then I take it from my eyebrow down the side of my nose. And it's just very light strokes to keep it natural looking. And see, I'm not adding very much product, but it makes a difference. And then I also always do right above in my Cupid's bow. And then if I want to add more depth, I can use darker color, which I usually do under my lip because I'm crazy. And I really like my little chin dimple. It's actually like a skewed star shape. And then if there's anywhere where I want a little more depth, I can go and add that. Alright, so when you're blending, I usually blend with my face powder. I don't know. It's transparent and it's oil absorbing. So I take the same brush that I've been using for my contour and my highlight, and I dip it in, and this stuff is really powdery. I don't know if you can see all the powder going up, but I want to take powder off of that. I don't need all that powder. So then you go and you press all over your face. So we aren't rubbing, we're just pressing. Okay, so now that that powder's all over our face, we're going to do our blending. So same brush, just gently bring it up all of your places that you put any kind of contour. You want it to be a nice soft blend, so it almost looks natural. Okay. And then last that I add for my face is blush. And I'm using my Smashbox palette because it's got all kinds of colors in it. And this is what I'm mostly going to use for the eyes that we're doing today. So I'm going to use this blush, which is Carnation, and I just love this color. It works really good on my skin tone. Same brush that I've been doing all my powder with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from like the inside of my pupil up to here. Because I have a round face, it helps make my cheeks look longer than they actually are. And you can do your blush in the step before you blend everything too. It can actually really help tie it all together. Okay, so now basically my face just looks like a nicer version of my face. Less spread and splotchy. Now for the eyes, I want to do, one side I'm just going to do like a classic vintage look, except that it's going to be in pinks and browns. And the other eye, I think I'm going to do in like pinks and reds. Let's have fun. Alright, so, Ego Tools brush again. I don't know what this one is called, but I love this brush. It has the tapered, it's the same as that face brush that I use, except it's miniature for eyes. Now, I would always put on an eye primer, and depending on what effect I'm going for, I would change which primer I'm using. Today, I want something that's a lot softer, maybe a little bit shimmery, so I'm going to use my NYX pencil in Cottage. So I take that pencil, and I'm going to go all the way up to my brow. Sure I've got the inside corner. Then I'm just going to take my ring finger. So I want to make sure that you have good light for this. And I'm going to just blend it all out. So that's primer for that eye. Really easy. And I'm going to take this beautiful rose petal color, so this one here, and I'm going to put it all over my lid. So how I do that is I take my brush and I press it gently into the powder. And then I'm going to do the same thing on my eyelid where I press it gently onto my eyelid. Okay? There's no need to be violent, just a little bit of patience goes a long way. Smashbox colors are pretty pigmented, so I'm not worried about color loss or anything like that. And the reason I love this is because with the tapered end, I can create a really nice shape super easy. So now that I've got that pretty pink on, I'm going to use my same brush. I'm in love with this brush. Everyone knows this. And I'm going to take, probably going to mix these colors. So we've got Naked, which is this top one here. It's a really pale, like nude pink color. And this Golden Orchid color, which is a beautiful golden pink color. In my crease, I'm going to take this pink, which is called Peony, and I might mix it with some smoke over here. We'll see. We just kind of do things that feel right. Alright, so I'm going to take Naked, and I'm taking just a teeny tiny bit on the tip of my brush because I'm going to use it as my highlight color. Your highlight doesn't have to be shimmery. You can do whatever you want. And I'm going to do the inside corner. And then I'm going to take the Golden Orchid and just go over those spots. And I'm going to put some Golden Orchid right in the middle of my eye because it's a beautiful color. Alright, so now I'm going to take Rosie, and because I'm going to reuse this brush, I'm going to take a different brush. So this is another blending brush, and it's by EcoTools again. I don't know if they have names. I'm not wearing my glasses, and it doesn't look like they do. Anyways, this one is really small. It's very nice and dense with a nice little dome top. So I'm going to take my Rosie. And this is, I think, the part that most people have the most trouble with is finding your crease. So on me, it's easy to see because that's exactly where my eyelid meets my crease. But if you can't find it, you can press really gently to find it with your brush. And because I want to do this as a smoky look and make like a bigger eye, I'm actually going to go like above my crease and just do tiny little circles back and forth. The whole point of this step is to blend it out. You don't want a lot of harsh color when you're doing a smoky look. You want the colors to blend. That's the point. And honestly, besides eyeliner, this step probably takes the longest. And now I'm going to take it underneath my eye to do the smoky. So I'm going to take the end of the color and go under my eye. Yes, I pretty much always keep my eyes open when I'm doing eye looks. Eye makeup. And that's because I want to get as close to the lash line as I can. And it's hard to do that when your eyes are closed. So now I'm just sweeping it back and forth above my crease. And we're almost at the intensity that I'm looking for. I know it seems like it takes forever, but it's worth it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So that's pink on pink, and I think I want to add a little bit of a darker color, and I think smoke is going to be a nice contrast. So I'm going to bring it down and like mess it into my lashes with the brush. but a little bit's going to get onto my lid, and that's exactly what I want. So I'm going right from here, where my pinks meet and form a triangle, and I'm mixing in that darker brownie color. It's going to give my eyes a little more depth. And now I'm going to take this color and I'm going to follow my crease and blend the brown into the crease, which is going to give more depth again and make my eye blend just a little bit better. So whatever technique works better for you, you can either do the little circles or you can do the back and forth swiping. It's looking very soft. Exactly what we want is a nice, soft, romantic look. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. An eyeliner, and we're going to smudge it. My favorite way to do this is with an eyeliner brush. You can use any brush. So I can use either of these. This is a nice one. This is a nice one. Or you can use an angle brush. And today I'm going to use Annabelle Smooth Line Waterproof Long Lasting Black. I've had this for a long time. I use it for smoky because it blends well. So I close my eyes and then I get really close to my mirror and I just do small brushes with it on the inside, and then as you get to the outside it can be messier, that's okay. And I always go a little bit farther than my eye because I love that flick look. And then I open my eye and I get close to my lash line. Now, if you can tightline, that's exactly what you want to do because these looks look the best with the black everywhere. So how I do it is I hold my eye open and then I take my liner and I go inside. And I close my eye real hard and the color should transfer. If it doesn't, you just take your liner and gently and carefully go along the top. You don't want to poke yourself in the eye. It is not pleasant. Please try to avoid doing that. So now that my liner's on, it's actually kind of messy. And I don't want it to look messy. I want it to look smoky. So that's where these brushes come in. So you do the same thing you did with your liner. Just do little brush strokes. If you want to blend that color out. I'm looking in a mirror that's to my left, just so you know. I'm not doing this blind. Okay, so that color on the bottom is really nice, but the color on the top didn't come out as dark as I wanted. So we're going to go over it again. Now there's going to be product on your brush, which means that you can form your flick. So how to do that is take your brush and bring it down, bring it over so you're making a triangle, and then fill it in. It does take practice. Everything in life takes practice. Don't feel bad if you don't get it right. It's okay to wash it off and have to try again. So now we've got our smoky eye with the little flick. So it's pretty neutral. There's not too much going on. Now, brows are another big part of my makeup. So I have this wonderful product from Dior, and it is called Dior Show Brow Styler. And one end is a spoolie, and the other end is this brow pencil. And it's supposed to adjust your brow color, which as soon as I take pictures, it looks too like auburn for me, but over the course of the day, it becomes like the perfect color. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So I go from this part of my brow, which is like the farthest part of the base, and then I just do small little strips up to my arch, and then I do small little strips all the way to the end, and I do the top. So I do small little strips from the very tip of my arch all the way to the end. Then I do small little strips all the way up to the arch from the top. And I've kind of like outlined my eyebrow. And then I'll fill it in. So I've got this big like bald patch right here. So little strips in there. And then in my arch I'm kind of bald. So I do some strips in there. And a couple at the end. And I always like to do a couple at the beginning. Then I take my spoolie and I run my spoolie through it to see how it looks when it's a little bit more blended and more natural. Now I really like having a defined arch. So I'm going to go over that again. Okay, there we go. Time for mascara. See, this isn't too hard. So, if you're curling your lashes, you want to hold for about 10 seconds. And then I move it up my lash to really curl them backwards. Now my current mascara is old. It is past its prime. So it's really flaky, but when I first opened it, it was amazing. So this is the Dior Iconic Over Curl Mascara, and it's a sample, and I just love it. So, never go like up and down in your mascara, it creates air bubbles, it's not good. But you can wiggle your brush, see like I'm doing, to get the product. And then I always clean off the tip, otherwise it's too much. Then you want to press your mascara wand to the base of your lashes and wiggle as you go up. This is going to create fullness at the base, and it should take away the clumping at the tips of your eyelashes. I'm sorry the light is so horrible in this video. And then I always turn my head sideways and look in the mirror to see the little tips that I may have missed. It's not a race, we can take our time. Alright, I feel like the top is looking pretty good. So now we're going to do the bottom. When I do the bottom, I hold my wand and then I kind of wiggle and blink at the same time. And the blinking forces the mascara wand down into the baby lashes on the bottom. And it works out great. Okay. There. So now, the right side of my face is nice and smoky, but still kind of in a lovey way. And the other side of my face, I'm going to do in an iconic vintage kind of way. We're going to use pink and brown. So for this look, I'm not going to use glitter. Well, it's like a shimmer. We're going to use Stay Don't Stray instead by Benefit, and you only need one pop. That's it. It's going to do more than your eye. It's crazy how good this stuff is. Ring finger again. Blend, 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 blend. Okay. Now, cat eyes can be really difficult for people who are not practiced. So that's where Scotch tape comes in. So I take my Scotch tape and I place it at the angle that I'm going to want. And I usually do it up into my temple. Like, the shadow doesn't go up into my temple, but the tape does. Press it down really gently, and you should put this like against your wrist and then put it against your skin so it doesn't stick to your eye skin too much, because it's a very sensitive skin and we don't want to irritate it. Alright, so we're going to take the same brush that I was using before, because that's what I do for everything, and I'm going to clean off some of the color just by rubbing it gently against my wrist. Now, if I was doing makeup on different people, I would never ever do this using the same brush. Always different brush for a new person. Okay, so in the Smashbox palette, what do we want to do? We could do a purple and a pink. Let's do that. Alright, so I'm going to use Topaz. So just press it in. This is a really matte color. So I've got some color on my brush. So we're going to press the color onto the lid. And you'll notice that I'll take the eyelid color all the way into the inner corner sometimes, and that's fine. So with this brush, I can take it and I can do an angle really easy. It's not a problem at all to do a nice line with this brush. It makes putting on cat eyes way easier, and because we want that really clean look with our cat eyes, we can always go with a finger and just clean up the edges to make them really straight and not messy, like on this eye. So that looks like a pretty good base. Clean off my brush again, and I'm going to take that same golden orchid color and get some on my brush, and I'm going to do the middle of my eye again, just to really make it pop. And I'm going to blend the two colors together, and I'm only taking the outsides towards the insides. I'm not blending the inside toward the outside, because I just want a pop of color. I don't want to change anything with my eye. So that is perfect. Now, I'm going to do Royal, and it's a beautiful plum. And I can always add pictures of the swatches. No problem. So I take a little bit on the tip of my brush. See that? And I'm going to start at the tape, and I'm going to work my way on top of the line that I made with my lid color. This is the start of my cat eye. And again, this is one of those processes that takes a while. So I'm just going to follow the line all the way to the inside crease. And then I'm going to take a little more. Every time that the color is fading, I just dip a little bit more. And we're going to go right on the edge of the tape, complete our V. You don't need to worry about being perfect. That's what the tape is for. It makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to bring this color up into right. So if you're looking at my pupil, I'm going to take the color to the outside of my pupil. Creates the illusion of having bigger eyes. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm going to fill in this V. Light strokes. Big difference, eh? Okay, so now that we've pretty much got our color on, want to make sure that it's even, nice and deep if that's what we want, not patchy. I think I'm going to do a little more here to keep that more severe line. Okay. Alright, so this is the point where I usually take off my tape. However, for people that don't know what they're doing with a cat eye, it's best to leave the tape on for right now. So take my brush again, and I'm going to bring it underneath my eye. Okay, so now with our liner, it doesn't matter what liner you use. I personally love liquid liners. I can use gel, I can use whatever, but I love liquid liners. Revlon Color Stay Liner is the easiest liquid liner to use, in my opinion, for people that are new at doing makeup. And the reason being is because it's so thick. It's really easy to make a line. So you're going to start where the tape is, and you're going to take that line down to your eye, like that, okay? And you're going to bring it all the way across. Now the inside corner can be really hard, so I like to have my eye just a little bit open. And it can be really challenging to learn where your eye is when you can't really see what you're doing. Sorry. So I hold it at like an angle so that it's running across my lid. So we've got a nice start to our line. Now we want to make a nicer like flick. So I'm going to start like near the end of my flick. So I can't even see what I'm doing. Okay. So we're going to start near the end of our flick and bring it into the center of our eye. And then fill it in. Alright, do you want to see your cat eye? Because you just did an amazing cat eye. So take the tape and very, very gently peel it. Okay, you might notice a little bit of like, you know, stuff. But look at that cat eye! Isn't that perfect? Now personally I like mine to be really pointed. There. So now we're just going to take the color that we had before, which is the Royal, nice dark purple, and we're going to blend it bottom here. And there are lots of different ways to do cat eyes, so it's all going to depend on if you want to take your liner from the bottom and go right to the top as well, or if you want to leave just the flick the way that it is. It's up to you. So right now we've got our nice flick going. The last step is going to be mascara as well as eyebrow. Now my camera keeps cutting out on me. I don't know why. It has battery. So same thing on this eyebrow. I start at that lower point and I go into the arch. And then I bring it down. And then I start on the top, my arch, and I bring it down. Now this eyebrow is a little bit more difficult for me because I'm right-handed and my hand is in the way when I do it. But I think it usually turns out just fine. Can you see the color difference? My camera stopped filming again. So, eyebrows. Sisters, not twins. Even cousins. It's totally fine. Just try not to have a cousin that's like 3 times removed. Okay, mascara. So again, I've already done my curling, my camera cut out, sorry. So do my mascara super quick. So I place it at the base and then I push it up with a wiggle to create that fullness. And I'll like close my eyes while I'm doing it. That really helps get the wand right in the base. If you make a mistake, it's usually not a big deal to clean it up with a Q-tip. With mascara, let it dry before you try to clean it up, because it will just smudge everywhere if you don't let it dry first. Alright, so mascara is done. So we're pretty much good on our face. So I think right now, my next step would be fix my hair. Alright, so I know my eyes look different. That's pretty good. And for something like this, for smoky eye, I would personally do a really neutral, I would probably do a dark color. Who's kidding? I really like dark colors. So, I personally wouldn't do a nude, I'd do a really dark color. But, you know, smoky eye. And then for this eye, I would do a really matte berry. I would do berry for everything because I love berry. So why don't we do that? And the other eye. Oh! I'm so sorry you fell down. Hang on. Now if you... I'm sorry.